Most people think we connect in relationships because we like someone. They're fun, they make us laugh, they smell good, the chemistry feels right. But the deeper truth, we connect through our wounds. That's the pull underneath it all. Think about it. You meet someone and right away there's this energy. A spark you can't explain. It feels magnetic, almost faded. Your friends might say, "Wow, you two just click." But beneath the surface, it's not just about attraction. It's about recognition. Some part of you is recognizing something familiar in them, not consciously, but deep in the nervous system. Your body goes, "Oh, I know this energy." That's where most love stories begin. Not just in romance, but in the repetition of what feels like home. Setup. Relationships as refinement. Relationships aren't just about companionship. They're about growth. They're designed to shape us, to polish the rough edges we can't see in ourselves. Think of it like two pieces of iron striking each other. Sparks fly, friction burns, but that's what sharpens both blades. Here's the problem. Most of us get stuck in the sparks. When our partner's behavior brushes up against our wound, we take it personally. They ignore a text and suddenly it feels like rejection. They forget something important and suddenly you feel invisible. They raise their voice and suddenly you're 5 years old again, bracing for impact. And what do? We point the finger. We make them the enemy. Instead of pausing to ask the real question, what in me is being stirred up right now? That's the shift. The difference between repeating the cycle and breaking it. Beat 1. Early programming, the energy download. To really understand this, we have to go back to childhood. Children don't just learn through words, they learn through energy. They don't have language for it, but they feel everything. The tone of voice, the tension in a room, the look that lasts a second too long. And they record it all. Not as good or bad, but simply as, this is what love feels like. If dad drinks and mom stays, the child brain says, mom loves dad. Dad loves mom. Dad drinks. That's love. If mom criticizes and dad withdraws, the child doesn't think, this is toxic. They think, this is what connection is. And if love feels inconsistent, chaotic, or conditional, the child learns, love equals instability. Love equals working harder. Love equals walking on eggshells. Fast forward 20 years. You're dating. You think you're choosing freely, but your nervous system has other plans. You're not just choosing a partner, you're recreating an atmosphere. Because your body feels safer in the familiar than in the unknown. Healthy, steady love might even feel boring, because it doesn't match the programming. That's why so many people ask, why do I keep attracting the same kind of person? It's not a conscious choice, it's the energy download from childhood replaying itself. Beat 2. Subconscious belief systems. That's how programming works. We're not just picking partners, we're validating subconscious belief systems. Some patterns are obvious. Maybe you always attract people who lie, cheat, or abandon. Others are subtle. Maybe every partner feels emotionally distant. Or maybe you always end up the caretaker, the fixer, the one holding everything together. Here's what's tricky. You can swap partners, change cities, start over. And yet the same fights show up. The faces change, the names change, but the script stays the same. Why? Because the issue isn't the person, it's the programming. Beat 3. The mirror. This is where the mirror comes in. Think of your partner as a mirror reflecting back your unhealed places. You look in, and suddenly you don't like what you see. So what do? You try to break the mirror, you argue, you withdraw, you criticize, you blame. But here's the truth. Breaking the mirror never fixes the hair. Your partner isn't doing this to you. It's showing up because it's already in you. That's the wound. That's the story being replayed. And that's why it feels so charged. It's not just them leaving dishes in the sink. It's that, as a child, you felt ignored. It's not just them working late. It's that, as a child, love felt inconsistent. It's not just them raising their voice. It's that, as a child, loud voices meant danger. When you realize this, the whole dynamic changes. You stop seeing them as the enemy, and you start seeing the mirror. Beat 4. The shift plus healing. Intimacy. So, how do you heal? Step 1. Name the pattern. Notice what repeats. Write it down if you have to. Step 2. Trace it back. Ask yourself, where did I first feel this energy? Who modeled it for me? Step 3. Reprogram it. Create a new story, a new belief about what love can be. Healing begins the moment you stop pointing the finger. It doesn't begin when your partner changes. It begins when you stop making them the enemy. And here's the key. You'll know the wound is healed not when they behave differently, but when you simply stop noticing, when the old trigger doesn't even register anymore, when their action no longer hooks into your nervous system. That's when you know the work has been done. That's where intimacy, trust, and true safety are born. Reflection, self-actualization. Here's a picture of what self-actualization looks like. You show up to a dinner party in jeans and a ball cap. Everyone else is in black tie. Most people would panic. They'd apologize, feel embarrassed, maybe even run home to change, but the self-actualized person, they don't even notice. Why? Because it's the noticing, the shame, the self-consciousness, the internal judgment that reveals insecurity. When the wound is healed, you stop noticing. You stop apologizing for who you are. You just are. That's what healing in relationships gives you. That's the real work of relationships. Not to break you, but to free you. Every trigger, every argument, every disappointment, none of it is random. It's all a mirror. It's all pointing you back to the places in you that are asking for healing. So the next time you feel triggered, instead of asking, why are they doing this to me? Ask, what is this revealing in me? Because when you heal the wound, when you stop blaming the mirror, what's waiting on the other side is deeper than romance. On the other side is intimacy. On the other side is trust. On the other side is security, the kind that no one can take away. So if this message hit you, subscribe and dive into the playlist, because this is just the beginning.